typical Honduran plate that they give you, there are tortillas, corn tortillas. They're really thin, and I like them. They don't have a ton of flavor, but I don't think a picky eater could complain about that. You usually get served beans and rice, but I didn't eat as much rice as I did like beans and tortillas and cheese. So typical cheese there is really different. And this, I think maybe for somebody coming, not used to it, would be a little bit like shocked. But the cheese there is like, they give you these little small rectangles of hard white cheese, and it's really salty, really, really salty cheese. And so a lot of people hated that. A lot of the American elders that I talked to, they're like, I hate that salty cheese. It's so salty. I learned to really love it because the tortillas were so bland, not bland, but they were kind of plain. So if you just crumbled up that cheese on top of your beans, they also serve eggs and sausage. So you usually get like scrambled eggs, maybe sometimes some sausage, beans, that little cheese, and fried plantains, which I love so much, which I didn't like because I went to an El Salvador restaurant that fried like the big ones, and I don't really like them when they're like really like big because they're so sweet, and that was like, oh, this is sweet, I'm not used to that. But there they slice them up thinly and they fry them, and so they start to caramelize, and they pour cream on it, and then sometimes I'll sprinkle that salty cheese on that. It's really good. I loved the food, and that's usually what I had. Or they'd give you sopa, soup. They serve lots of soups there, usually with like vegetables, with different types of bananas. They have tons of different bananas there. They'll slice them up and cook that, and different vegetables that you've never seen in your life. You'll see fruits that you're like, what is that? Like, am I in this exotic random dimension? But it's really cool. There are a lot of different fruits and vegetables that I'd never eaten that I loved, and I didn't eat anything that nasty. If anything, just like some weird food combos that I had never thought of. I'm not a big fan of sweet drinks, but they have a few different like rose petal drinks and different drinks that I wasn't fond of, but I didn't hate them. Maybe the most shocking or gross food that would be weird for a missionary is sopa de mondongo, which is like a soup that has like some part of a cow intestine. I think it's the upper part of the stomach or the cow intestine, something like that. But it's like a famous typical dish, a Honduran dish. It's, everyone talks about. But luckily I dodged that one because I think just me being a white sister, they thought, oh, she won't like that. So they never served it to me, just assuming that I wouldn't want it. But most people will eat that. So other foods I can't think of, but I really like the food. It's simple, really simple, but it was good. Oh, actually, one more thing. Something weird that they would do is they love eating spaghetti, but the way they make spaghetti is not typical. They'll like put mayonnaise and ketchup and maybe some butter and onion that's their sauce that they put in their spaghetti. And they'll eat that with a tortilla. So, I mean, the ingredients I'm totally fine with, so I was okay with it. But it's definitely something I would not eat on my own. And then another funny thing is you'll see Chinese restaurants in Honduras all over the place. And they just love Chinese food. But it's really different. You know how in the US, we have Americanized Chinese food. Like Panda Express is not probably the real Chinese food. They kind of do that with Chinese food there. They have their Honduran version of it. And just a funny random thing, I don't know why they do it, but they always serve white bread, slices of white bread with Chinese food. It's like what you have to eat when you are eating. They'll have their chow mein and all their other stuff, and then complimentary white slices of bread. So I thought that was funny.